Hello everybody, here we are today talking about my Week 20 CFL picks and getting into all of that. So before we get started, please make sure to subscribe if you're new to me or the CFL, whatever the case may be. That being said, let's get on into it. So I do want to apologize for not putting out a video last week. I won't say too much, but I am moving, and so it's kind of been a pain to try to move all my stuff out, and it's just one of those things where you never realize how hard moving is until you do it. I haven't had to move in like 2.5 years, so been very busy trying to keep up with that. Haven't been able to watch really any CFL last weekend. But anyway, we're going to be talking about this weekend where we're going to see the Calgary Stampeders travel over to Hamilton to play the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Won't get into this too much here. Calgary is a team that really feels like it's lost its soul a little bit. This organization will miss the playoffs for the first time since 2004 and just don't really feel like they've got a lot of fire left in them. I think this offseason really does need to be very big in terms of change because not only do they feel like they're stagnant, I feel like in a lot of ways it seems like they're not as invested as some other teams. I'm not saying that these guys don't care about winning, but you just need to have some new life in this organization and try to finish out the year strong. And if they continue to have things go the way they have been, that's where you start to say, man, this has really been one of those years where you can understand why the fan base would be so frustrated, regardless of the fact that over the past 20 years they've been basically the model of consistency. Meanwhile, the Hamilton Tiger Cats, their playoff chances don't look perfect, and they may have even got eliminated last week. I wasn't able to even find that out because I've been that busy. But they've been pretty good as of late, winners of 4 of their past 5 and are better than expected. And with this game being in Hamilton, I just feel like the Tiger Cats should go out there and win it. I feel like they're in a better spot to win. And while I know Calgary's been able to go in here in recent years and pick up wins possibly, think of that Titus Wall, game right there. It's still something where I feel like the Tabbies should be able to pick up another win and get to being able to be maybe an 8-10 team at the end of the year. Not perfect, but being close to 500. When I think I said at the start of the year I had them finishing with 5 wins, Hamilton going to get number 7. Then the next game of the week is going to be Ottawa traveling over to Toronto. This has big implications for the Eastern semifinal. If Toronto wins, they're able to host the game, which seems really weird because Ottawa has been able to be above them for most of the year. And then things have turned recently. The tide has, as the Red Blacks have lost 4 of their past 5, and then Toronto's been able to kind of hit their groove a little bit. The Argos are far from being that 16-2 team from last year, but they still are a side that knows how to win. And if you give them a home playoff game, they're probably going to go out there and get a great spot to win it. And Ottawa still feels kind of odd to me. I know they've been able to get those wins, but even still, they've not really filled me with a lot of confidence for this year, even when things have been going right. I believe Drew Brown is going to be getting the start this week, and this should be a really good test to see what we're going to see here in a couple of weeks. Obviously, Montreal's got that top spot out east. So these two teams will be meeting each other. And yeah, Hamilton has been eliminated, obviously, because Toronto's got that spot. But I don't really know exactly what to expect here in this one, other than that I'm hoping it'll be close. But I think Toronto's going to be able to get the win at home. Kind of an indicator of what we'll see here in a couple of weeks. And for Ottawa fans, like we've talked about during the course of the season, just being able to get here would be cool. Even though, again, how things have gone recently probably doesn't make the fan base too excited. Now we have the final game of the week as Montreal travels over to BC to play the Lions. Montreal on their way to possibly getting win number 13. BC, a team that may not even be able to go out there and get to 500. They just got a tune-up, and they were on the receiving end of that tune-up against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. The Riders beat them something like 38-9. The score was pretty lopsided at halftime. The Riders, broke any bit of confidence that Lions fans and players probably had. I didn't really have any confidence going into this. And then Vern is going to be getting the start this week. I think in a lot of ways people were hoping that Rourke would be able to come in here and fix this team and get us back to being that 8-1 side. But I'm not opposed to giving Vern opportunities. In fact, I enjoy what Vern has done with the team before, since obviously Rourke left and then filling in with him for the injury and whatnot a couple of years ago. So yeah, let it ride out with Vern if we have to let it ride out with Vern. I'm totally okay with that, even though Rourke has got that extension. Doesn't bother me any as long as we're winning football games. But in this case, for the Owls, they might not have as much to prove. Protect whatever players you can, whereas the Lions are just trying to get any type of momentum going as the playoffs are approaching. And they went from possibly going up there and winning the division to having to travel over to Saskatchewan, playing outdoors, and maybe facing an early exit to the season. For the Lions, I would say this game is important, yes, even if it doesn't help them out in terms of getting back that home game from the Riders. But again, we won't be too much doom and gloom here. I think BC will pick up the W. Whether or not it's actually a true victory or not, I guess we'll see. But yeah, those are my picks for the week. I expect Hamilton to go out there and get the win, Toronto at home, and then BC at home. So that would be all home sides getting a W. again. Of course, two crazy things happened in the CFL, and I don't think it'd be that crazy for Montreal to beat BC. Oh man, this year has been a long one for us, and I'm just looking for it to be over one way or another. Just don't get my hopes up here. If we make it to the Grey Cup and lose, I wouldn't be able to take it. So I'm honestly hoping Saskatchewan beats us in the first week. Anyway, that's just a rant. So what are your thoughts for this week in the CFL? Let me know down below in the comments. Also, again, I apologize. Moving is hard. It is what it is. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below. Also, please make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. Everybody stay safe and have a great night.